Liberation greetings to all and sundry, my dear people of Amazonia. Accept liberation greetings from me, Comrade John Akuro. This day, today is the 6th of November, 2023. I may be talking and having some little gaps or, you know, having some little gaps here because I'm filled with so much emotion. So I plead your indulgence to understand this. I got to this live presentation with a lot of emotions in my heart. And so it's possible sometimes I will speak and, have some little jumps, some little skips because the kind of things that we always have feared and have expressed and have warned that will be happening on our territory continue to happen. Today is November 6th. November 6th is the day those who consider Paul Biya as their God come together. They sit together and they claim that he is really a God. And they claim that he has done what nobody has ever done. And so, usually prior to this day, you have a lot of horrible things going on the territory. Especially usually happen in La République du Cameroun, but recently our people in Amazonia, the so-called elite, the CPDM elite, and the apparatchiks and those who work with them, have chosen to be doing the blood sacrifice this time rather in Amazonia. So it shouldn't surprise anyone that it is happening on the eve of November 11. That's on November 5. While those who feel that they need to go and be celebrating 41 years of developmental drought, 49 years of torture, 49 years of rampant killings, 49 years of arbitrary arrests, 49 years of the enforcement of poverty as a public policy. While those that really have to go out and glorify that, settle down and tell themselves that they need to, vend something else in the place of people asking them questions. So they need to go somewhere, create all the carnage, and then go back and sit down so that the focus will not be on their checkered balance sheet, on their horrible balance sheet. The focus will be on manipulation. My people of Amazonia, sympathizers of the Southern Cameroon's people's cause for freedom. What happened in Mamfe, specifically in the locality known as Egbeko, last night, that is November 6th, from 9 p.m. right up to 5 a.m. That's November 5 at 9 p.m. right up to November 6th at 5 a.m. It is horrible, despicable, unacceptable. Frankly speaking, this is a textbook definition of a massacre. What happened? It happened in Gabu before. It was worse than this. The way it sounded, I beg your pardon. Excuse me. It sounded worse than this. But what we are seeing today, that is the extent of what happened in Mamfe, in Egbeko, is unimaginable. While in Gabu, they talk about 21 getting to 30 people. In Egbeko, they are talking of over 54 people. There are others still battling with their lives. When it happened in Gabu, La République du Cameroun were the first to point out that they were amber boys. Excuse me. I'm bringing under a lot of emotions. La République du Cameroun and its apparatchiks were the first to run on to social media and scream that they were our self-defense volunteers who did it. And not because like people in Cameroon have been struggling to achieve three things. I've said here before, and I'm repeating it. Three things. One, please excuse me, instill so much fear among the people so that they get so horrified, terrified, and then they surrender. Or number two, make the people believe that their own sons who are fighting for their freedom have become something else and have turned against the community and are ready to massacre people indiscriminately. There will be no justification for our self-defense volunteers doing such a thing like we have seen in Ekweko, in Mamfe. Don't forget ever that this is not the first time we are seeing these things cast in Mamfe. The other time they burnt down the hospital, but they seem not to have achieved their objective. So, objective number one is still too much fear. Objective number two, turn the people against their own aspirations for freedom. And objective number three, tell the international community that Ambazonia is a terrorist organization. Since 2017, especially in 2018, they have tried all this. They have tried as much as they can, as much as they could. They failed each time, but they are not giving up. The devil does not give up. They don't. Folks, I'm calling on each and every one of us, wherever you are, to observe a minute of silence, first of all, in honor of our departed brothers and sisters in Manyu. May the souls of the faithful departed rest in peace. So, folks, you will recall that when it happened in Gabon, the government of Cameroon denied and denied and denied and denied. They even brought people who created narratives that they were there and they saw the self-defense volunteers of Ambazonia committing that gruesome act in Gabon, where they massacred babies, pregnant women, and everything. The same thing that they have done in Egbeko. They burnt houses indiscriminately. So, yesterday, about 9 p.m., I'm saying this from eyewitness accounts, not those things that people are trying to throw here and there on social media. About 9 p.m., the people who caused this carnage arrived at the scene. Ekweko, where this incident occurred, has 2 military camps. The brigade, there is a Gendarmerie brigade, just about 10 minutes walk at the entrance of this locality. 10 minutes walk into the place. And at the outlet, there is a military camp. So Egbeko is sandwiched in between 2 La République du Cameroun military outposts. 2. Yet, this incident occurred from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. The military arrived there in the morning. The military is supposed to have, they arrived there in the morning when it was over. The people who came in reportedly burned down houses indiscriminately, burnt people alive in those houses, killed, raped, maimed, did all kinds of atrocities. Even raped an expectant mother before killing her. Let's visit the scene just a little. I'm not going to show the very horrible images, but just take a look. Because this is the Cameroon military's Ministry of Fire at work that we have seen all over Ambazonia until today. The stamp is clear. Watch.
Now human being that too. In the bond. Yeah, I think Try! Today you put a born human being.
Oh my God.
Those are whole houses like that. Whole settlements razed down to ashes. This is exactly from the playbook of La République du Cameroun. La République du Cameroun, they do this and say they're copying it from France. That is called scorched earth policy. I'm coming gradually to exactly why La République du Cameroun did this and why in this specific locality. Watch again.
Oh. Oh God. Oh. Oh God. Oh. Oh God.
When you hear the confusion in the narratives, in some of the narratives that you get on social media, because I will absolutely play some here, it will give you to understand exactly who and what is at work. Because La République du Cameroun knows that that government has set, that the government of Paul Biya for 41 years has worked to set communities against each other, pit communities against each other. That's why you hear at some point you will have people fighting in Akwaya versus others in where, and people will be running helter-skelter. At another point, you hear Bambui versus Funge. At another point, you hear Balinyunga versus this and that. At the other point, you hear Balikumbat versus Bafanji. At this other point, you hear all of this sponsored by the government of La République du Cameroun in its continuous policy of divide and rule. And so they have knocked the heads of all the communities to the point where it's easy for them to exploit some of those things and try to see how to, attain the triple objective that I just mentioned a while ago. That's why you hear they'll tell you that what has happened is Boki versus Egbeko. So they say the Egbeko attacked a neighborhood largely inhabited by Bokis who fled their community and came there, following the feud which has existed between them. So they say Hausas, Egbekos, and Bokis have died in this carnage because it is a mixed neighborhood. Now look at this. First, the narrative you heard very early in the morning from my country people then, and I've said this before, never forget, whenever they do it, they are the first, they run out first, and they launch a serious and sustained media campaign to accuse our self-defense volunteers. That's what it is. They always do that first because they want to control the narrative. They want to stall any forms of investigation. They want to hide their tracks, and they want, therefore, the international community not to go about carrying out any investigation. It failed in Gabu because effectively there were investigations that got to the point where the government finally admitted but hid a lot of the culprits, admitted to committing the carnage in Gabu. And that is exactly what's going to happen with what has happened today in Egbeko, in Mamfe. I am joining my voice to the numerous voices that are rising here and there to call on the international community to conduct a thorough investigation into what happened in Egbeko. If those who are saying Amber Boys knew that Amber Boys effectively do, they will know the names of those Amber Boys. They will know where they are from. Then they were definitely in the know of that operation. Because you are going to hear here in audios I've gotten from the field. Some of them are already circulated. There are some that are directed to me. You will hear here exactly what happened. They want to exploit the divisions that they have created to bring pain onto our people, to cause us to capitulate. Recall in my last discussion here, I talked about the fact that they have their representatives even right here in the diaspora that are identifying those among us who are contributing a lot to see that we kick La République du Cameroun out of our territory, and to see how they identify their family members, cause them harm in order to turn you, turn me, turn us against our own aspirations for freedom. I said that here. Now let's listen.
Say my brother Raz, under serious investigation where I tap people them around that area and for that axis. This about 10 minutes ago, one lady tell me say, "Na military can't do that work." Say, military they can't pack their motor for distance about 1 mile. Normally say about 2 kilometers before they enter the quarter. They pack their motor. Now for play, they pack their motor. They change all their clothes. And say if they stand for window, they see them as they pack motor. They change. So they military do that work. Yes, they change. So they change. They dress like Amber. They start working now with food. They go for the quarter. For that 3 o'clock now, it be just the pump. It be the pump. I see here, you see light for motor. They come. It come up for play with the pump. It go high. A minute to them. They can all things they do. You see them. Say the problem where it happen for that quarter. I say Amber the pass for that quarter all the time. Enter town, go destroy minute to them. But those quarter people never ever come minute to tell them. So military they vex for those people for that area. That is why military they can't do and so that when any of the way they live for that area, if they see Amber.
I'd like us to pause here a bit. You hear what he's saying? That the military has had some angst against the people living in this particular area called Egbeko. Because the military of La République du Cameroun has been complaining that the people of that area have never called them to denounce the presence of self-defense volunteers. And that the self-defense volunteers have always passed through that area and attacked them and killed a lot of their forces. And so, therefore, they made up their minds to punish the people of that area, to constrain them to cooperate. Listen again.
Amber will call military tell them. So many military now put enemy between them and Amber. So now they update that was just get them some few hours ago. Yes. We will always like to do investigation. When it happen like that, we know saying our people they be at the end. Everywhere where wait will be happen for General Hospital, Mamfe they be born them. Amber they just go key military for that control for General Hospital. Then pass inside hospital, enter bush, they go. Because bush just behind hospital, then pass to the enter bush. Military can't enter for the hospital, bomb everywhere. Lies in Amber when a military do that work. Now the same thing you happen for Beko. 16 people did down as I talk where they don't die. 8 then they injured for hospital way seriously. In burn houses. Amber need the burn house. Because that very place I play Amber the pass all the time. Amber need the burn house. We know the house of black leg. But then burn house indiscriminately. Whether it be black leg or not. Because that area don't get black leg. Person just go marry the woman and kill him with the woman. Kill people then for instance speaking burn houses. So in a minute you don't do all those things, my brother. A minute you don't do those things.
So, folks, you heard. You heard. I don't talk for a time without number. Say La République du Cameroun, be ready for do any kind of thing where you fit imagine them for make sure so they will keep you under subjugation. You see, you don't hear as this boy narrator. You heard him very clearly. He says, a lady who is giving this account, because this account is from a lady who lives in the neighborhood, who saw when the military came into the area with their cars, packed, removed their uniforms, and dressed as if they were not self-defense volunteers, because they have to camouflage, they have to show a different face, because they had a narrative that has to be told in the morning. If not, like I said, this place is sandwiched between two military outposts. The closest one to where the incident occurred is 10 minutes walk away. And this kind of thing took place there from 9 p.m. till 5 a.m. So the military came in, took time, parked their vehicles, took time, changed, did a reconnaissance in the area. And it's about 3 a.m. that this mother saw them. She saw them pack, change, do everything, and get into action. And then you get up this morning, those who participated with them were the first to come on social media. Because another account that I got from yet another source, where that some of the boys who are at the DDR were part of this operation. And like I said, and you heard this gentleman explain here, the intention was to punish the people of this area because there are no black legs there. The people have not been denouncing the Amber Boys. And you hear here. Because you see, it doesn't like, just look at, let's see the pain again. And so when they did it, early morning, the military having retired now, because I have clear information that those who committed this act, the military came in, some from Kumba, others from Bamenda, and then those that some of the boys from the DDR centers. And that's why the boys from the DDR center, including Kawa Yannick, became the first to go out on social media to say some of the things. I'll play a few here. I'll play some little line here so you hear. And so I have had the opportunity to speak with people on the ground there right now. Some who are telling me they even have the names of some of those boys that participated in this operation. And they are looking for the safe moment when they are out of that locality to deliver these names, because some of those people know that they know them. This is sad. This is really sad. And when they do that, therefore, in the morning, the military now comes. They play now the honest broker, they gather the population, they keep them down, the militaries are telling them, the police, the soldiers are your friends, you have to cooperate with all to track down those who committed this act. Yes, because that was the intention. Like I said, they are doing this to attain a triple goal. Goal number one, instill so much fear in the population to achieve capitulation. Goal number two, cause the people to doubt their own cause and turn against their own very aspiration. Goal number three, get the international community to condemn Ambazonia as a terrorist organization. That is what it is. And that's why they now move to where I'm going now. Watch.
But when it happens so, government will release them officially. They carry them go for mortuary, for general hospital. When they do, they carry then take a report for people who don't die. They will give their people them out for their various families. Una hear? Make all we be strong hearts. Una self una know that when this thing be start, all we be the talk. Now, not be about military, not about we civilians. As you don't start so, make we be one another's keeper. Make all we learn forget we should enough for our house. When you see something, you blow alarm, make all man come out. This thing will not happen. So at the height of wickedness, this. At the height of fear, evil, this.
You notice that this is exactly what was they were trying to see if they could achieve. Gather the people, tell them the military is your friend, your enemy, and your sons. This is what they're trying to achieve. But like I say, eyewitnesses on the ground know exactly what happened and they are talking. The good news is that a good lot of those who are aware have already left Mamfe right now. They have left Mamfe and they're headed to where they will be able to talk to international rights organizations. The truth will not be hidden. Yes. You have seen some of this message because when we share with some confidential, with some people that will know it's in confidence. Before you know it, they can't hold it, they start circulating. That's why you are seeing that, in fact, there was a meeting to plan this incident. And that meeting took place in Mamfe. To plan this because the people, the soldiers, said they have suffered a lot of casualties because Egbeko has been a place where the self-defense volunteers pass freely in and out and wreak havoc on them and cause them harm. And therefore, they have to try and find a way of punishing the people and bringing them to submission. And they chose this moment and they knew that they would throw out too many narratives because there's a narrative out there saying that, oh, it's a settlement of scores from some people who came from the other side to settle scores because of a dispute between the people of Boki and those of Egbeko. And then they will even tell you that it's like the people of Egbeko betrayed some commanders, some Ambazonian commanders, self-defense volunteers from Boki, and so the people, had to come and carry vengeance on the people of Egbeko because, they could not accept what happened. So let's see.
Say my brother Ras, under serious investigation.
No, I'm still going to get that particular cut because that was another twist that is coming to this. La République du Cameroun absolutely believes that the best thing to do is to create too many narratives. You hear this?
Yeah, actually, what transpired is that what happened is that some guys from some brave hearts or these sponsored agents came into Mamfe town and they killed so many Boki people in newly out Egbeko in Mamfe town. So the thing is that they came and they attacked houses, burned those houses, burned some in their houses, and in short, they did a lot of killing. Yeah, the killing was too much, so they left, and that is not far away from the Gendarmerie post, from the Gendarmerie office. So they left and.
Did you hear that? It's not far away from the Gendarmerie office, where this incident happened. It did not happen in Tenaco. No, which we say is a bit far from Mamfe Central. No, it did not happen. It happened inside Mamfe. Like he says, if not a few minutes away from the Gendarmerie post. Listen.
Afterwards, this morning, that was when gendarmes and the army came around to pick up the corpse of those who were killed and burnt down. So that is the situation. That is the situation. But they are not our brave hearts. They are not the brave hearts. They are just some of those higher sponsored agents. Okay.
You know, what do you think would have been the motive of those who came to? Let's not go to that. So, this is. I know some of these audios you will not get them out there. Some that you have out there. With some of this I actually keep my sources. But you see, these are people on the ground who lived the situation, who are living the situation, who are explaining exactly what happened. You see, because first you get confused, some Amba boys. Because listen, don't forget that because of this particular movement, there's now what is called the proliferation of arms. Arms are now in the hands of every Tom, Dick, or Harry that can afford it. So when the military comes in, they hire their agents. And listen, when I said here how there was a meeting held in the home of Mr. Tanyin Daniel Clarkson way back in 2018, with plans that they will carry out some of this kind of acts with extreme brutality. Listen to me. Extreme brutality. Extreme brutality. Extreme. Not just brutality. Extreme brutality. To teach the people a lesson. So when you get all of this, there is no moment where you find that the self-defense volunteers of Amazonia were in. But my informer on the ground says there's another narrative he's heard. And that narrative, of course, will only be badly skewed because it has an intention to say it's Boki, absolutely it's Boki versus Egbeko, and the people came inside there to create trouble, or the people came there after Boki people and all of those, and then it will maybe some Amber, but because of some blacklegism, that's the narrative that people give. Hear him.
Yeah. You know, this situation is, you know, many stories have come up. But the fact is that it is a revenge situation, which the government and its black legs would like to change the narrative and put it and brand it on Amber Boys or on our brave hearts.
Now, just to make you understand, this is in response
this act,
to the question I asked.
so you have a better idea. What do you think would have been the motive of those who came and committed it? Now, I ask like this because some people are claiming that it has to do with some land disputes, that is some kind of score settling, or something like that. And if that's the case, why did the gendarmerie or why did the soldiers not intervene? Because you said that the office was just close to. What's going on? So what
situation is that the stories coming up is this. One of the stories is this. These guys, they said they came to revenge the death of one of their colleagues, one of their generals who was killed or who was betrayed by the people, the Boki people or the people of Kajifu, who was betrayed by the people of Kajifu. So they came around to revenge his death by killing the Boki people, the Kajifu, most of Boki people. Yeah, and the other one is that, the other story is that there's been a long land dispute between the people of Egbeko and the people of Satom, or the people of Baje, those people down the river. So, but that situation doesn't tally because most of the people killed are Boki people. Most of the people who are killed are Boki people. Yeah. So I try to concur with the narrative that.
So you hear this. I don't want to take us so much deep into all of that, but you hear when he brings up those things, they're on the ground. But he tells you this narrative, it doesn't tie. Even when you try to say, oh, it's because of land dispute, it doesn't tie. You try to say, oh no, it was just possible, it doesn't tie. The long and short is La République du Cameroun, in their traditional approach, are determined to wreak havoc as much as they can so that they can attain the objective I have mentioned. I'd like us now to listen to Kawa Kawa Yannick. Because each time this kind of thing happens, that's when they come up. Because they have to come up quickly to start trying to push out this narrative. They were part of it. Listen.
Good morning, our elites and chiefs from Manyu. Good morning, our brothers and sisters for diaspora. My name is Kawa Yanikawa. Today na the 6th of November 2023. A very terrible thing that happened for Manyu. Manyu, they in tears today. People, they don't kill people. Amazonian terrorists don't destroy today for Manyu. Bloody flow from Mamfe Central, right inside the town, right close to the gendarmerie.
Now you see, even Kawa Kawa Yannick of the DDR, he says by Amber terrorists, but the very next sentence, close to the gendarmerie, mark that, close to the gendarmerie. You see, they don't even know how to mask. They don't know how to mask some of these things. You see, when they bring them on truth, it's like a lion. All you need to do, release it into the atmosphere. Allow it into the wild. It will defend itself. That's what truth is. Because even when you hear from Kawaka that it is next to the gendarmerie, the next question you ask is, where were the gendarmes? Where were they? Of course, they had to look the other way because it was their operation. They had to look the other way because this is something they had planned. They held a meeting again just a few days back in Mamfe to plan this. That meeting brought together the gendarmerie, the brigade commander, the military that were at the other end of Egbeko, brought together the senior divisional officer, the colonial senior divisional officer for Manyu, the divisional officer, the colonial divisional officer for Mamfe Central. Even the mayor of Mamfe, a son of the soil, was present. And it was agreed. They brought in soldiers from Bamenda, some from Kumba, to come and commit this carnage. This is exactly what they came to do. So they plan to use the long-standing conflict between Egbeko and the other side people, so that they will not get so much confusion in this narrative, and in the core of it, even rub in the self-defense volunteers as those who hail from this side were angry that those from this side had betrayed one from. This is gibberish. The truth is very apparent. Listen again, small.
Innocent people, they don't be killed. Man don't burn to ash today. Small young girl picking don't be raped and killed today from Manyu division, for inside Mamfe Central. My people, they're from Manyu. I don't always talk. Some people lead them. They vex. Say, why are they talk? I hear someone that they talk about suing me. I hear someone that they make kind talk. They put kind talk there for background. I hear someone that they make noise say, to where are they talk and not correct. Say, Manyu, Mamfe Central, they peaceful. It don't happen. Gone are those days where me I used to take my risk, my life, come from Mamfe Central, take care for myself, walk around.
That's not even the most important one. Listen to the real point where those from the DDR are absolutely celebrating their exploits. That is, boys celebrating the killing of their own kith and kindred because they sold their hearts and minds in exchange of peanut from La République du Cameroun. Hear them.
Ashuluka Samba General, come and carry your corpse in Mamfe. You were telling people make your territory ungovernable. Then don't reach, can't carry your corpse.
Stupid man. Your people don't kill them. Your brothers them, your bad them. They don't kill them for this. Can't carry them. Now the time this for now for can't fight. Cameroun is one and indivisible. No one day will not divide Cameroun. One and indivisible. One and indivisible Cameroun. Now me at the top. Yes. Now they diaspora that the main no they for Europe. Now they for America. Now main no na brothers that they kill them. They don't push out the brother them, burn them, rape down to na woman them, kill small picking them, kill them. When I say the war, the struggle continues. Now the struggle this one is defined now. And the struggle this. Come and carry your corpse as you look at. You just foolish Kajifuma. Foolish Kajifuma, come and carry your corpse. They are there waiting for you. Foolish man. We not go suffer now, not turn this. We not go suffer. They don't want to kill you now, where? We not go suffer.
So can you hear that? These are from the allies of the military of La République du Cameroun. These are boys from the DDR. Some of whom were present, who participated in this carnage. And then the next minute, they want to jump out there and say, oh, you see, Isamba fighters, they have turned against their people. That's why I asked one of them, can you give me one simple reason, one, why Southern Cameroon self-defense volunteers will carry out this kind of brutality on their own people to this scale? One. They could not. Yeah, they're in the forums all over the place. Oh, yes, I have somebody who was there. He was his whole family was killed. He was the only one. He went out. He came out around 5 a.m. He has escaped. He has gone to hide somewhere. He will say the real truth. He saw everything that happened. I say, really? He arrived. He saw everything and went safe. But he's the only one who was not touched because he had gone out. He was not around. He came back when it had happened, but then I asked, so he had to ask for a replay. So they also should see everything and be able to report. Those are the apparatchiks of the Cameroon government who are bringing back the same playbook that they operated in Gabon. Folks, let us go out there and call on the international community to conduct a very impartial investigation into this one other massacre, too many. We've had enough. This carnage has to stop. We've had enough. This carnage has to stop. My heart is bleeding. Bleeding seriously to see what will be done on innocent babies. Innocent young girls, unarmed people, just begging to be alive. And this is done with the complicity of somebody who is sitting there saying he's the mayor. Done with the complicity of those who are moving around calling themselves their elite. We will soon find them come in to play the Pontius Pilate. We will soon find them come in to Mamfe. Oh, yeah, they'll come with mattresses and buckets, some few bags of rice, bread, and sardine, and come and tell the people, turn against your own aspiration. We have told you, bow down to Kobia or you die. Just like that one is saying there. Usually they come and shout, Cameroon is one and indivisible. That is why these people were killed. That is why they were burnt alive. To terrorize us away from our thoughts. To terrorize our thoughts and our determination to freedom out of our lives and our minds. But they failed. But they failed. It will not work. It did not work before. They did it in a lot of areas in Kwakwa. We saw them did it in Bole. They burnt people alive in houses there, in their homes. Raised whole villages. And like I said, they asked them, they say it's scorched earth policy that they copied from France. Then they wake up in the morning and tell you, no, this one we did not do it. We did not do it. And you ask the gendarmes that were just there, what was happening? No, we were just sleeping us. We were just sleeping. We were so tired from guarding. We were just sleeping us. We did not even hear. You ask the soldiers who are at the other end, oh, don't answer, we don't even know what happened. Say, answer, no. Say, answer, my people of Amazonia, we must continue to rise up like one man to dig this colonial oppressive administration and their forces out of our territory. We have to send them packing. We have to send them packing out of our territory. This is why I'll continue to say every day that the time now is the time for action. We have spoken a lot. We have held conferences. We have talked synergy. We have talked everything. The time now is the time for us to contribute as much as we can to put an end to this dehumanization, to this desecration of the human being in our land. We need to put an end to it. That's why I will invite you to visit www.onepodrelief.org. Put in your contribution. It is for the entire struggle. This is not for a group. No. As the name says, One Pod Relief. This is not for a group. This is for the entire liberation movement, for Amazonia as a whole. We need to overcome our differences. We need to overcome our misunderstandings. We need to overcome the divide and rule Mr. Bia and his talks are trying to force among us. We need to overcome all those challenges. We need to rise up to the occasion, and we have to take our own freedom into our hands. We have to kick La Republique Cameroun out of our territory. Look up on the message on the scroll. Time for action under www.onepodrelief.org. Click there now. Write it down. Go onto your browser. Type www.onepodrelief.org and make a contribution today. We cannot continue this way. We have to take our destiny into our hands. And we have to send La République du Cameroun backing out of our land, whether they like it or not. Look at, they are the other way, celebrating 41 years of developmental drought. And I saw some people gather in Dongamantung. I don't even know how they got there. They might have been on the road for 4 or 5 days before getting there because of the nature of the roads. And they get there in Misaje and they say, we are calling on Paul Biya to be our candidate in 2025. What a curse. What a curse. We must say no to this. We must say no to the Republic of Cameroun, our territory. We must send them packing. And the time is now. The time is now. To God be the glory.